we are going to do a full body reformer workout. It is very ab-centric. In fact, we're starting off with an abdominal warm-up. I have my reformer set up for footwork. On this specific reformer, I personally in my body like 2 reds and a green. On the balanced body reformers, I like 2 reds, a blue, and a green. I like it a little heavier, except for on this reformer. It just doesn't feel good when it's really heavy on this reformer. So foot bar flat, footwork springs on, headrest can be up or down, your choice. And let's get started. So we're gonna lay on down and grab your pegs that are behind the shoulder pads. Then float your knees up to tabletop. I personally like my elbows a little bit high because it just helps to keep your ribs more connected. We're gonna let the legs fall over to the right, letting your hip pull away, but keeping your ribs and shoulders heavy. Connecting into your core as you pull back through center and taking that up and over to the other side. Using your core as you pull through center, lifting up and over. Exhaling through center, taking it to the other side. I recorded yesterday and I can feel my obliques kicking in. I'm like, oh, they're a little sore from yesterday's workout. One more each side. Last time to the left. Come back through center. And then just press down through the back of the arms and shoulders, keeping your legs at tabletop. We're gonna move from the leg hip socket, beginning to march, lowering one leg, exhale, pulling it up, and alternating, lowering the other. Feel like you're pressing down through the ribs, the upper arm bones, letting go of any tension in the leg hip socket, and not really thinking like I need to tap the frame. Like, focus more on opening up the hip and connecting into your core to pull the leg back in towards you. One more each side. Now let both legs lower together. And deep low belly pulls those knees in. I personally like a little frog leg connection. It just helps my hip flexors from feeling really grippy and overworking my quads. It's really helping me focus connection into the pelvic floor to pull those knees back in towards me. Do 2 more. Pressing down through the upper arms, the back of the ribs, feeling like you're growing through the crown of the head, and then hug those knees in. Maybe gently rocking a bit from right to left, just relaxing the lower back. And then we're gonna plant our feet. Arms reach long by your sides. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, head and chest curls forward. Try not to engage or tuck your hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lowers you back to the mat. Inhaling as you prepare. Exhale, flexing head and chest forward. Pause here, breathing in. Exhale, lowers you back down. Exhale, curls you forward, pause and breathe in. Lowering with control, deep breath in. Exhale, lifts you, pause and breathe in. Exhale to lower, one last time. Curl forward, lift and reach, pause and breathe in, and lower back to the mat. We're gonna curl up, we're gonna stay lifted, and we're gonna take right hand reaching towards right ankle. So it says rib to hip flexion. And then left fingertips towards left ankle. Try not to move the lower half, but just the ribs, the upper body, moving from side to side. Last round. Draw center and lower. Good. Take your hands behind your head. We're going to be very specific about our breath pattern for this next series. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curling head and chest forward, rotating your ribs towards the right. Pause here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, lowers you back to the mat. Inhaling as you prepare, curl forward, twisting to the left. Pause here, breathing in. Exhale, lowers you back to the mat. Exhale, curl and twist. Pause and breathe in. Exhale to lower you. Deep breath in. Exhale, curl and twist. Pause and breathe in. Exhale to lower. Exhale, lift and twist. Pause and breathe in. Exhale, lowers you back down. Curl forward, lift and twist, breathing in. Lowering with control, one more round each side. Curl forward, lift and twist. Pause and breathe in. Melting back down, last time. Curl forward, lift and twist. Pause and breathe in. Lowering with control. For this next round, we're gonna stay on the right side and we're gonna lift the right leg as we lift the upper abs. So take a deep breath in. As you curl and twist right, lift the right leg up. Control as you lower both. Exhale, curl and twist. Inhaling as you lower. Staying on that same side for 3. Feeling like you're crossing your left rib towards your right hip for 2. One last time, curl and twist, hold it here. Your upper abs stay still, your leg hinges down. Exhale, pull it back up. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. For 3, 2, last one, hold it here, crunch the abs to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower down. Now we're moving to the left side. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curl and twist left, lifting that left leg to table. Inhale as you lower to the mat. Exhale, curl and twist. Inhale to lower. Feeling right rib crossing up and over towards your left hip. 2 more. Lowering with control. Last one. Stay lifted here. Relax the shoulders, hinging the leg down. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. For 3, 2, last one. Hold it here. Crunch across to the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Hug those knees into your chest and just rock a bit from right to left. Relaxing the low back, sending deep breath into the low ribs. And exhale. Carefully rock up to seated and we'll put our foot bars up. Good. And then of course we'll lay back down. So this time your heels are on the foot bar. Parallel your feet, pressing down through the back of the arms, the back of the ribs. We're gonna inhale to lengthen, pushing all the way out. Exhale as you sink down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhaling as you sink. Squeeze and resisting your way down. Last 3. Feel your kneecaps lifting up into your thighs as you extend for 2. All the way out and hold. Come halfway down, tails heavy. Move up an inch, down an inch. Up an inch, down an inch. Pressing through back of the arms and shoulders. Heavy through the tail. Last 3. Toes stay flexed up for 2. 1, press all the way out, all the way back in. Spiral into your Pilates V feet, heels together, toes and knees apart. Inhaling as we lengthen, exhale as we sink down. Inhale to extend, exhaling as we bend. Last two. Last one. Come halfway down, heavy tail, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Last three, two, one. Press all the way out, all the way back in. Stay in your Pilates V, but drop down to the balls of your feet, toes. So heels glued together, toes and knees apart. Inhale to extend the legs long, hold it here. Keep heels together as they drop under the bar. Lift your heels high, then pull your way back into the bumper. Inhale to lengthen, lower, lift the heels at the top, and exhale, drag your way back in. Out, lower, lift, and pull your way down. Out, lower, lift, and pull your way in. Letting those knees go about shoulder distance wide, allowing the hips to let go as you come down into the bumper. Last two. Last one. Come halfway down. Keep your carriage still as your heels lift and lower, keeping that tail heavy. Feels a little awkward because sometimes one leg tries to move faster than the other. That's why it feels different with the heels together. Keep your heels lifted, move your carriage up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Being purposeful, keeping that heavy connection in your toes. No bouncing. 3, 2, 1. Press all the way out. Separate your heels, parallel feet, dropping your heels under the bar. Feel that lovely calf Achilles stretch. Slowly bend your knees as you come down to the bumper. High heel shoes, we push away. Drop the heels under and slowly drag your way back in, feeling that calf Achilles stretch. Pressing out. Drop your heels, dragging your way in. Pressing out. Dropping your heels and dragging your way in. Last two. Last one. Dragging your way halfway down. Alternate your heels. One lifts and lowers, other lifts and lowers. Keeping that spring tension underneath you as you alternate your heels. Feel your thighs moving towards you and away from you. Now both heels lower, both heels lift. Lower and lift. Still focusing on keeping that carriage steady. Hold your heels high. Move the carriage up an inch, down an inch. Definitely feel that quad burn. Heavy toes, heavy tail, heavy through the ribs and the back of those arms. Press all the way out, all the way back in. Take your heels to the corners of the foot bar. Flex through the feet, drive through the hips. Inhale as you lengthen, exhale as you sink down. Press and flex. Last two. 1, come halfway down, little pulse. 1, up an inch, down an inch. Thinking of your pelvis, sinking through your thighs. Pressing all the way out to lengthen, all the way back in. Toes back in the middle, press all the way out and go into running, dropping one heel and the other, alternating back and forth, feeling that stretch, stretch. Massaging your feet, walking up and down the bar, getting your pressure points. And then coming all the way back in. Carefully rock on up to seated. We're gonna change the springs on the balanced body reformers down to 2 reds. This one I'm gonna do a red and a green spring. Go ahead and lay back down. Make sure your shoulders don't feel shoved up in your shoulder pads. And then go ahead and grab your loops, bending your elbows into your sides, bringing your legs to tabletop. Feel the shoulders grounding down into your pockets. Feel your ribs zipping down towards your hips. Extend the arms, reaching long to the sides of the body, and then bend those elbows back in. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. Two more. Last one. Straighten and bend those arms. Now let's add on the leg. So as we straighten the arms, extend one leg long. Control as everything bends back in. Then straighten with the other leg. Bending back in. Extend through the hip, reach through the toes, flex. Extend through the hip, reach through the toes, and flex. Slow and control helps you find more connection into the muscle, more strength in the movement, making sure we're not going in a race. Last round, each side. Now let's add both legs, and if you want, you can curl your head. So straighten everything, extend and reach, flex and bend back in. Inhale, reach and lengthen, exhaling as you bend. For 3, 2, last one, stay lifted and hold. Open, close the legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees, bend your arms. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, extend everything long. Legs stay still, arms open, close, open, close. 3, 2, 1. Pull it in, bend arms and legs back down. Adding on, both arms and legs open, close. Go slow because you maintain that resistance in the straps. Extend and reach, open both, close. We call this one starfish. Last one, and rest, bending it in. So the next round, we're gonna go into basic coordination. When I said that earlier in my class, everybody laughed at me. And I think it's just because I'm always adding on and creating more layers. It was funny. Anyways, extend everything out long. One time we open, close, bend and rest everything down. Exhale, reaching long, open, close, one time. Bend and lower. Reach for 3. Open, close. Extend and reach for 2. And rest. One last time. Reach long. Open, close. Bend and rest it down. The next one, we're going to extend the legs. Keep them turned out. And we're focusing on the inner thighs, doing little claps. We're going to clap 10 times. And we're going to do 3 rounds of that. So arms are bent. Legs are bent. Extend everything out long. Clap 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees, bend your arms. Reach it right back out. 10. 1, bend your knees, bend your arms. One last time, reach it long, clap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend and rest. Go ahead and hang up your straps. Let your feet go wide, fall to the right. Maybe your right foot goes on top of your left knee, giving you a little extra stretch through the hip, the rib, the side body. Letting your knees fall to the other side. This time left foot goes on right knee, giving you a little extra stretch here. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Carefully come on up. We are going to change down to just a blue spring. So on this reformer, specifically a high yellow. So we're gonna come on up to standing, and we're gonna straddle the mat, or straddle that blue spring, sorry. Standing in the well, facing your foot bar. You wanna stand like fairly close to where your spring's attached. We're gonna keep our right leg grounded. Move my springs out of the way. And draw my left toes back at the shoulder pad behind me. You can hold on or not, totally up to you. Square your shoulders, ribs, and hips. And we're sinking down into this right hip and then standing tall, lunging back and down and lifting back up. Foot isn't wanting to stay steady. There we go. 4 more. 3. Last 2. Sink down low. Hands go on the foot bar. Slightly pitch your spine forward. We don't want to go too low because we're going to pull the carriage in with this left leg and then extend and straighten. Bend the leg in, extend and straighten. Last 4, squeeze. For 3, reach. Last 2, extend. Last 1, hold it straight. Sink a little deeper into that right hip. Lift just a little, not all the way. Sink down. Keep your left leg straight and strong. 3, feeling that extra burn in that right thigh. Last 2. Last 1, hold, breathe in, breathe out, close your carriage. Step your left foot down into the well, have a seat. Let's remove our spring altogether and slide back. You wanna sit on the front edge of your mat and you wanna make sure that you're not gonna kick any of the foot bar or frame in front of you. So I want my knees and my ankles to be stacked. I'm gonna draw my hands to my pelvis. I'm sitting nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, as I tip my tail under, my carriage slides forward towards my calves, but my knees do not move. Pause here, breathing in. I wanna flex into the ribs to curl me back up on top of my sit bones. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, the tail tips behind us. The carriage slides forward. Pause and breathe in. Exhale into those ribs to curl back to seated. Let's go through a few more of those. Relaxing the glutes as we roll back. Fold into the ribs as you curl to seated. All right, we're gonna add on. So tipping under, C curve, round back, feel the carriage slide forward. You feel the stretch through the top of the thighs. You're gonna fold one leg into tabletop, lower that down as the left leg folds in towards you. Lower, alternate, flex, and lower, flex, and lower. Last round each side. Lift, lower, last time, lift, lower, and then curl into those ribs to draw you up to seated. Adding on, we're gonna make a big imaginary beach ball with our arms. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, tip the tail under, C curve, round back. We're gonna dip the elbow down, rotating rib to hip, curl back through center, stay back there, alternating sides. Thinking of this dip of the shoulder, elbow, dipping of the rib and waistline. But the lower half stays completely still and steady. Last set, each side. Draw back to center, curl into those ribs to draw you up to seated. We're gonna add on one more time. My right side is away from you, but I'm right side dominant, so I'm starting with my right side. So tipping your tail under, rounding back, carriage moves forward. I'm gonna flex my right leg into tabletop. I want this leg to stay steady and still. And then I'm dipping my elbow and rib to the right, come back to center. Same side, dip and center for 3 and center for 2 and center. One more time, come back to center, stay back there. Lower the leg first, then curl up to seated. Take a deep breath in at the top. Exhale the other side. We round back. We flex the left leg into tabletop and we dip the left elbow and center. We dip and center. One more. Draw center. Lower the leg first, then curl the ribs forward. Good job. All right, we're gonna walk our carriage forward. We're gonna hang up that blue spring again. Make sure your other springs are not in the way as you stand upright. Something's caught. Okay. So we did left leg forward, or sorry, right leg forward. This time we do left leg forward. So square your shoulders, ribs and hips, staying nice and tall, sinking down into that left hip and rise back up. Sinking down, feel that stretch through the right side body and lift you. Driving through the heel to stand you tall. Three more. 2. Stay low on 1. Draw your hands down. You're staying slightly bent in this left leg and bring the carriage in with the right and straighten the right. Flex and extend. 3. Nice and long spine from head to tail. Last 3, 2, reach. Last one, hold it straight. Sink into the left hip a little lower. Lift the left hip just a little bit. Down, up. Really working straight through that right leg. So you feel that stretch through that right hip flexor. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, sink down low and hold, breathe in, breathe out, stand tall. Carefully step on down, have a seat, remove that spring again. So we're gonna slide the carriage all the way to the back and lay on down. We're gonna grab the risers behind us, and that's just gonna keep our carriage still into the bumper. We want the rib points heavy. So I want your elbows pointing up, not wide. Because when your elbows are wide, your ribs are gonna flare. Make sure you feel like your knees are directly over your hips. And once again, nice long spine. We're gonna extend the right leg and then switch, extending left and switch, reach, switch. Two more rounds. Last round. Bend your knees in. Both legs extend, reaching long, and flex back in. I always aim for a little higher at first, and if that feels easy, then you can start to work your way lower. We don't want to just assume that we're going to go low from the beginning, because that's when you can start to strain or feel pressure in that lower back. Every day our body feels different, so we have to set that expectation. Last two. Last one, we hold it straight and then lift those legs straight up. Reach those legs out and away from us. Exhale deep into the low belly to lift. Inhale to reach away. Two more. Last one. Exhale, lift, and then plant your feet on the frame. Draw your arms down by your sides. So we have our foot grounding down. The spine is grounding down. I'm going to flatten my headrest because we're doing some bridging. Pressing through the upper body as we curl our hips up. Feel the front side body stretching open at the top, engaging those glutes and hamstrings. Take a deep breath in and then melt down, rolling bone by bone back into the mat. Inhaling at the bottom, exhale, curling your tail towards you. Lift the hips up. Feel those glutes and hamstrings engaging at the top, and then melting upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. Deep breath in at the bottom, curling the hips, rolling up, breathing in at the top, melting down one bone at a time. 3, hips lift, stretch and reach, open through the front side body, and then lowering with control. 2 more times, lift, feel that squeeze at the top, and then melting down. Last one, we're gonna stay lifted up at the top, hold it here. Feel your thighs stretching forward towards the front of the room. And we're gonna pull the carriage towards our heels. So connect with those hamstrings, slide into the heels, back, slide in towards the heels and back. So it's like 1 inch to 2 inches, not a huge range of motion, but you're definitely connecting into those hamstrings and glutes. Pull. Last 2. Last one. Push back to the bumper, hold it here. We're gonna think of a flat back and drop our bottom to kiss the mat and then squeeze it back up. Drop the bottom, exhale, squeeze. So think of a flat back hinge and lift. Flat back hinge and lift. Last 2, squeeze. Last one, hold it here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, roll all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest, rocking a bit from right to left. Good. Carefully rock up to seated. Come on up to standing. We're gonna face, you're on my left side, so my right leg's gonna stay in the well. I'm going to close my carriage, placing, once again, a blue spring on the frame. My right toes are slightly turned out. You have two options with your left. You can, I don't know why, my legs are I'm realizing how short my legs are. I can't even reach the shoulder pad. It's crazy. So you can have your foot flat, toes forward, or you can climb your foot up in external rotation. This really has more to do with your hip flexibility more than me saying like what one is better than the other one. So we're sinking into this right leg. We're lunging forward. I'm leaning forward. And then I'm rising back up tall. Sinking down, reaching forward in a long spine, and lifting up. So I want to think of slowly lowering down into this right hip, not about pushing further to the left. Focusing on this inner outer thigh. We've got 3 more. 2. Good. One more time. Down and up. We're just going to go right over and switch sides. I don't have anything fancy in between. Oops. So toes are either flat or turned up. Bottom leg is turned out as well. Sinking into this left hip, lunging down, reaching forward, rising up tall. Sinking down, lunging forward, and lifting back up. Four more. 3, down, squeezing up. 2 more, lower, exhale to lift. Last time, down, all the way in. Step your right foot behind you on the floor. Hold the carriage so the left leg can come out. I'm gonna flatten my foot bar and go down to a single red spring. And then we're gonna add our boxes on the long way. Grab a sip of water. Talking and working out always makes me so thirsty and out of breath. All right, pulling straps. We're gonna be on our bellies, facing the tower, or facing the back. I say facing the tower because I have towers on my reformers at the studio. Just habit. All right, I like to loop my hands through the loops, just so they're not hanging and dangling down. Legs are strong and long. I don't like my feet together because my feet are more narrow than my hips, and I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on your lower back. So just long, strong legs, long, strong arms, shoulders in pockets, sweep down to the floor, reach back to the side body, and then control as you release that forward. Exhale, pull and reach, and control as you release. For 3, long wrists, long arms. Three more, connecting with the upper arm bone, reaching long by your sides, making sure you give your muscles a moment to engage as you're back there. Don't be so quick to release. Last one, hold your arms back there, tricep kick, bend, extend and reach. 2, exhale, press. 3, last one, reach, lower those arms back forward. Lift your arms from here, making a V or a Y. Don't turn your arms. Keep them parallel to the floor as you sweep back into an airplane wing and stretch out to the sides. Exhale to pull. Inhale as we open. Three more. Two. Last one. Stretching out long. Make sure your headrest is flat. Go ahead and hang up your straps. Come on top of your box to do a few cat and cows, dropping your head, your tail, rounding your spine. Lift your head, your tail, extend. Exhale, flex and curl. Inhale, opens you up. One more. And open. We're going back into another abdominal series. So sit on your box, facing the back, and we're gonna thread our thighs into the straps. Just get your thighs in, and then we'll worry about our setup. So scoot your butt pretty close to the front edge of your box, and then carefully lay yourselves back, bringing your legs up to tabletop. Make sure your straps are even and that the straps are exiting the back of your legs. I like a frog leg position. Once again, it just helps feel nice on my low back, my hip flexors, and I like my feet a little above my knees because that helps, once again, with the low back. Keep your legs still as your hands go behind the head, letting head and shoulders go back. Take a deep breath in. Keep everything else still as we flex head and chest forward. Inhale, letting head and chest go back. Exhale, ribs flex forward. Inhale, lower. Three more. Two. Last one, stay lifted and hold. Bring your legs parallel. Extend your right leg, pull it back in. Extend your left, pull it in. Reach, flex, reach, flex. For 3, 2, 1. Lower the head. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, flex, head and chest forward. Legs both extend. Exhale, flex it in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, deep low belly pulls. For 3. Last one. Pull it in, curl deeper. As your legs extend, lower the head. Exhale, flex. 5. Inhale apart. Exhale together. 4. Reach. 3, 2, 1. Grab your legs. Carefully rock up to seated and remove your straps. That definitely got in the belly. We're going to turn our boxes to short boxes. Still on the same one single red spring. We're going to do another version of bridging with the box. So I want to explain 2 things that are very important. One, your ribs. We're lifting into bridge, and a lot of the times people flare their ribs. So if you feel anything in your back, your ribs may be flaring, so check in there. The other thing is our glutes tend to be a weaker part. Our whole back chain tends to be a weaker part. So thinking of pubic bone up towards the ceiling is going to help you engage your glutes and lengthen out your lower back. If you're just lifting your hips but your pubic bone's tipping away and your ribs are flaring, you're going to go into your lower back. That's where you're going to feel it. So we are working the back side of the body. You are working your back, you are working your hamstrings, your glutes, all that stuff. But I want you to still be aware of where your pelvis is in alignment and where your ribs are in alignment, okay? So feet on the foot bar or on the frame, and draw down until your head is fully supported on the box. I like to just hold the sides of the box, and I feel like on this reformer, this red is just a little too heavy. It's not what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna change it to a high green on this reformer. Stay on your red on the balanced body reformers. All right, resetting up. Okay, so holding the sides, if that doesn't feel comfortable to your shoulders, you can always cross your shoulders over your chest. But this is just a nice chest stretch. So you can feel the thighs lifting at this like table position. The whole front side body is opening after that ab work. So we're keeping the carriage still as we soften the ribs into the box, starting to drop our back down into the springs, going into extension of the spine. Take a deep breath in, exhale, pubic bone towards belly button, lifting the hips. This is where that rib heaviness is important, and that pubic bone tucking up is important. And then let that roll back down, one bone at a time. Exhale, curling the hips up, lifting and squeeze at the top, melting upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. A few more of these. Feel the thighs stretching forward as you lift, and then roll through the spine back down. Last one, lift the hips, hold it here. I want to ground down into one leg and effortlessly float one to tabletop. Ground into that foot, float the other leg up at tabletop. Alternate that back and forth. Ribs stay heavy. Glutes stay active. Last set. Lower the feet, squeeze those hips up higher, and this time we're gonna push the carriage back. So we're extending those legs. Exhale, flexing in, knees forward. Push out, exhale, pull with the back of the thighs. For 3, exhale to flex. Push away and pull back in. Staying lifted. Remember, watch those ribs, keeping them knit down towards the hips. Last 2. Exhale, pull and squeeze one last time. Pull it in, hold it in, squeeze your hips up even more, and then roll your hips down. One more version. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift those hips up. Drawing your left leg to tabletop. Keep your hips lifted as we push out. Exhale in, extend, and pull. For 3, hello hamstring. 2, exhale. One last time, pull it in and hold. Lower your foot, lifting your hips higher. Ground into the left, float up the right. Push out, pull in. Control as you push and pull. For 3, 2, last one. Pull it in, lower your right leg, squeeze your hips up even more, and then slowly release. Either have a seat on the mat or slide yourselves back on the box. This is one of those exercises that going in and out of position is the hardest part. So we're all gonna end up sitting on top of the box, and we'll do a little figure 4 stretch after that. Breathing into the back of the hip and thigh. Let's switch sides. Leaning forward, stretching the hip, breathing in and breathing out. We're gonna do one more abdominal thing, and then we'll finish with our feet in straps. You're gonna take your spring completely off of your carriage. Turn your boxes back to a long box, and we're gonna stand in the well back here between the back of the frame and the carriage. I wanna slide all the way back to the back side of the frame, especially if you're tall. Draw your forearms down on the box, and your arms are parallel, not hands together. So parallel helps you focus more on connecting into the shoulders, the ribs, as well as your abdominals. You want your legs moderately close together, not that they're touching. And then we're gonna lift our heels up off the floor. I'm looking back at my belly, at my thighs with my gaze, and I'm gonna focus on undulating from the pelvis, my center, as I extend my body out into a plank position, and then curling and piking and pulling my way back in. Inhaling as I extend, strong thighs, lengthen out the heart, the hips. Exhale, pike and curl back in. Thinking of when you're moving forward, your shoulders do not move away from your elbows. They stay stacked in line. And then you're lifting your knees, lifting that strength into your quads as you pike back. 2 more times. Last one. Hold your plank. Stay here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pike it back. Drop your heels. Roll your spine up to standing. Inhale, stretching your arms up at the top. Grab one wrist. Side flex up and over. Breathing into the ribs, down into that side body. Grow tall through center, taking it up and over to the other side. Stretch and breathe here. Come back through center, soften your knees as you lift your heart and extend back. Breathing into the front side body. And release. Carefully step out. Let's remove our boxes. We are done with the box. Let's close our carriage. Again, normally on the Balanced Body Reformer, I like 2 reds. On this one, I like a red and a green because 2 reds are heavy. Our spring resistance is different on here compared to the regular reformers. Let's lay on down. You made it to feet and straps. Pushing your carriage away, hooking up 1 foot at a time. Make sure you don't pull on your straps. Legs are long. Stretch and fold your legs up. Exhale as you lower and reach down. Tail stays heavy as we lift and stretch. Exhale, pressing through the hamstrings, the back of the legs to lower you. Also thinking, as we're lowering, that we're trying to create space between the thigh bone and the pelvis. Two more. Last one. Lower down to your point of control. Keep that Pilates V as you frog, bend. Exhale, wrap and press. Bend and extend. Keeping your spine nice and long, not flexing in too far that your tail, your waistline starts to sink or dump into the mat. Maintain that neutral spine. Feeling that zip and wrap of your thighs as you extend your legs. Press all the way out long, and we're gonna go into Peter Pan. So your right leg's gonna bend, your left leg goes out wide. Make sure your right heel is in line with your knee, so you're keeping your hips more balanced on the mat. Find your inner thighs as your legs go together. We're gonna alternate, left leg bends wide, right leg extends wide. Inner thighs push you together, alternating that back and forth. One more round each side. Long legs, fold and stretch them up. Circle the legs down, around and up. Tail stays heavy as we lower and we circle around. One more. And then let's reverse it. Same thing here, keeping that spine nice and long and neutral. I know it feels good to flex all the way in towards you, but you're loading that spring tension on your spine, which is not good. We want to maintain that neutral pelvis, neutral spine. No imprinting or tucking or lifting of those hips. Let's do one more. Fold those legs up. Grab close towards the hardware as you gently pull down. Breathing into the backside body. Allow those legs to open out and maybe rock a bit from right to left. Good. And let's remove those straps. And we are all through. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope your body feels better.